And this is Julie Norman, and today we are doing our What Sold video between January 11th through the 20th, and here is the Westminster Bridge of Houses of Parliament. I would think this was a pretty common subject, but it is a Valentine's postcard. So this is a brand that some people collect, so we always put that in subject line because it's collectible. $4.47. Passenger steamer, boats sell ships, whatever. Frankie Kirby, Sandusky, Ohio. And here's the back. It was dated 1913, and they all came to Detroit. And I did put that in there, took to Detroit, because, you know, sometimes there are a lot of a certain card, and people just want to have that little piece in time back in history that this person who wrote on this postcard wrote in that boat. To me, I think that's neat, and maybe other people do too. Here's With Malice Towards None, President Lincoln. This is a whole image, and it's a beautifully embossed card. And the person who purchased it, actually, I had it listed for a little bit more, and we kind of haggled a little bit, and I was just fine with it because I've got like 3 more, so it's at $6.47. Dallas Cotton Exchange, Texas postcard, and I did put this one up at auction because there wasn't one just exactly like this. There were a lot. I think there were others of the subject, but just not exactly this view. So it went for $5.97, and I'm fine with that because it went out the door in a week. Here we've got a real photo postcard, World War I Soldiers Barracks, and this was pretty cool. It came. There's a couple of these World War I's that sold this week, and it's just really neat to see the soldiers in there, and you got the flag in the background. It's just one of those images, and it's Clarence is the person who was there. Somebody at one point wanted $5 for it. I got $19.47. I probably could have asked for more, but I didn't. So there's just a balance between that. Here's another ship, SS Columbia excursion boat. So this is a passenger one. Here's the back in 1940. Mom and I went to Bob L. something. $4.47. Here is another one in that batch, World War I Soldiers in Uniform and Fort Benjamin Harrison. There are a lot of these photos out there on eBay, but not all of them have a name on it. So Ebert and Delbert Watson, and that was kind of cool. So that went for $19.47 and sold quickly. That was a little bit higher than the other ones were going for, so I was glad. Here is a folded postcard. I know, I've seen folder, folding, folded. Mark from SM Postcards, you should do a video on that. Clarify what it should be. So this is Colville, Washington. This is a whole entire postcard. Okay, here, yeah. I put it the other way up so you could see. And they had somebody who wrote on it. It wasn't posted, just written. And then in the inside, I had this neat thing, a little poem over production. And you can go and look at that listing if you want to read that. So that went for $19.95. We have Japan Airlines Castle UNESCO site. So Japan, like an airline edition card and an UNESCO. Am I pronouncing that correctly? UNESCO, whatever. I found out, it doesn't say on this postcard that it is an UNESCO site, but when I did my research, I found that out. This did go overseas. I think it did go to Japan. I hope they like that postcard for $4.97. Here's a Merry Christmas. Here we are in January still, and Christmas still sells. This is just, I think this is a generic postcard, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, is this the Winchback? And it was 1911, and it's hard to read this. Mr. Rexel Baker. So it's just, John Winch. Oh, it was signed John Winch. Okay, I got it now. Somewhere there, right there. Design copyrighted. That's why. It went for $14.97. Hello. I guess if I would read my own listing. Queen Elizabeth. This is a photo postcard, and it was a continental size. Okay, notice this price. The decimal point should be right here. I accidentally listed this for $1.97 instead of $19.97. And guess what? It sold like almost immediately. And it also has her postage stamp on there. Here's the back. It's a Valentine's It was a really nice postcard. But, instead of saying sorry, I listed it wrong, I just sent him a message and said you lucked out because I accidentally sold it for this much instead of what I wanted to list it for, and I hope you enjoy it. If you have Queen Elizabeth postcards, you should list them now because it may be coming to the end of her reign, and you want to have things up for people who will want that little bit of nostalgia. State Hospital for the Insane, Middleton, New York. $9.47 is what this guy sold for. There are a couple collectors who come along and really like these, at least a couple. This one was an undivided back, and let's see. Yep, there you go. So one of the people who collects these postcards for the insane or the state hospitals, he always comes along and wants to bargain down with you. So my suggestion is to lift it for $1 or $2 more than you really want to get for it, because that's going to happen probably if you put the best offer available on it. Santa Rosa Hospital, Milam Grave Square in San Antonio, Texas. And there it is. It's a lithograph card. All right, why is this going slow? It's just a regular back here. Here you go. That's what it looks like. Plain, $4.47. Federated Church. This is Ajo, Arizona. I couldn't find a lot about that town. I researched, I think. And this was in 1936 to Virginia Miller of Golden, Colorado. And it went for $4.97. It sold quickly, but churches are desirable. Chief Billy Osceola. So here's a Florida postcard. And yeah, I'm going to be filling up my Florida postcards pretty soon, and I'll take you along. I've already been taking you along on the journey if you've seen those videos. This one written for $3.97. It's not a rare view. A real photo postcard of Miles City, Montana. This place has changed, but a lot of it looks the same. So the way it is around Montana. And here's Milligan's Hotel. You can see, when I took my loop, I could see all of these names, and it was kind of fun. And look at all those old cars. Here's the back, and it went for $25.47. They didn't haggle at all, they just bought it. So it was pretty cool. Cathedral of Habana, Cuba. I don't know. Did it used to be spelt with a B instead of a V? Because I thought it was Havana, but I could be wrong. So there's the cathedral. It's in rough shape. Oh gosh, I don't know what's going on there. I'll just do this. So it's an undivided back here, and 1904 to Jacob Cuban, and he was in Massachusetts via Tampa. Okay, $4.47 is when it went for. Now on eBay they have something about some Cuba things you cannot sell, or you're going to get like fined or hand slapped or something. What I understood it to be was that if it was made in Cuba, you could not sell it. But then Popeye said something else, and so I'm not even sure, really. I'm going to have to do some research. So if you have Cuba things, do your own research. Don't listen to someone else's opinion on it, mine or Popeye's or someone else's. Do your own, and so it's your responsibility to know what you can and cannot list. Okay, here's the Bitterroot Valley in the mountains. Northern Pacific Postcard Railroad. Pretty scene, and here we go, Northern Pacific Railroad. Those, when you see the back and you see this, like when it has a railroad sign name on that, people do collect those. Manitoba map, Centennial Queen Elizabeth. That's again. There are a lot of these out there, so I didn't price it high. Somebody made me an offer and I accepted it. It's unposted with chrome, and $3. Oldest wooden bridge in Kentucky, and I also put the Corner Drugs, Cynthia, I don't know, we'll see, Cynthia, Kentucky. That is, Cynthiana, Kentucky. It's just a regular old lithograph, and so published for Corner Drugs. And reason I put that on there because there might be somebody looking for that drugstore. Sometimes it's family or town or historian. You never know. $15.47. Real photo postcard, gymnasium, St. John's Military Academy in Wisconsin. Kind of neat. It looks like a castle. And it was posted in 1922 to Mr. and Mrs. Kelly of Comanche, Montana, a very small town. It went for $9.47. Boo-hoo, why don't you write? And there are so many postcards that say, why don't you write? Please write. And most of them aren't really worth much. But this one is different because it has a Chinese person, copyright Walter Wellman, and the person who purchased this said, thank you, it arrived safely. I added it to my Walter Wellman collection. So you have to look at the whole thing. I mean, look close. You get a magnifying glass or whatever. So that's his motto comic on the bottom. So $7.97. Going to the Sun Road. So this one and this one, and this one all went to the same person, and they did give me offers on all 4 of them, and they were a little lower than I'm comfortable with, but when I saw it was the same person, I countered a little bit, and then we came to a good price that we both could agree on. And so the reason why the person bought these 4 were they are the Union Oil Royal 76 postcards. So they're, by themselves, they're not that great. But here it is, Union Oil Company right here. And then you'll often see this on the bottom. So that is why they bought it. So this one, Missouri River in Montana. There we go. This one, fishing the Truckee River. So there is a fly fisher. And this one, the Ruth Copper Pit Open Open mine. There we go. You see me sell a lot of those open pit mines. And those 4 went out. Nice little packet for them. Here is Waterfront, Alameda, California. Sailing ships. I usually like to add that there's ships in the picture for those boat people. Divided back, $4.97. Tony Pastor's Downtown Restaurant in New York, interior. This is a linen card, and you don't see me selling a lot of linen cards. I have them listed, but they are slow. So there's the back. It's unposted, and $4.47. Now this up here on the top there, it almost looks like there's holes in the postcard, but there's not holes. Okay, I didn't show you this today. This is the whole view. They kind of look like holes to me, but they're just little lights in there. Okay, where are you going, boys? Soldiers on the Train, military comic. And there you go. This is another linen. So these do sell. There are a lot out there, but if you sell them and price them right, then they'll move. $3. Ski Trails, Upper Ajax Mountain in Aspen, Colorado. And for some reason, it needed 2 commas. Chairlift. So I made sure to mention that there is a chairlift. And that was the chrome. It went for $3.97. Canal Street, New Orleans, Louisiana. Here is the nice street view, and I mentioned there were streetcars. If you are able to make out any of the names of things, then do that too, because sometimes somebody will be looking for those buildings, and they'll find it in different postcard views. This was a white border for $3.97. Walla River Island, Kauai, and this is a continental card of Hawaii, and it's just unposted. I listed a few of them. Don't be afraid to list continental cards. They don't get as much love as the older ones. Some of them are very common, but you never know what's going to trigger somebody to buy a card. So this one has got the scalloped edges right here. There we go. See on there? Scalloped edge, and this one sold within I think a day or 2 of me posting it for $4.97. Real photo postcard, Headwaters of Merrimack Springs in I didn't put where it is, did I? Okay, maybe I didn't know. Let's see. It was postmarked in St. James, Missouri, 1908 to Mrs. George, GEO was George Plone in Missouri. $4.47. And I think there were others like it, so it wasn't like a rare view. Ferguson Library, Stamford, Connecticut, and put antique car. There's somebody looking. Was postmarked in 1926 to Miss Emma Bennett, and here we got the sideways writing. By the way, somebody said, okay, Matt from Jackass Retro said that he liked the last What Sold I did, and I should do them more than 3 times a month. I've only been doing it 3 times a month because I don't feel like I have enough sold to do them more often. Because here, look at this. I've only had 37 sell in about 10 days. But let me know what you think, if I should do this more often or if this is just right. So, and I probably will do it more often when I sell more too, unless it gets too long for you. Just let me know what you think. Okay, this is Constantine, and it is a foreign card, and it is a lithograph divided back, and this went out for $3.50. So don't be afraid to sell those international cards too. They may not go for as much, but they may take more research. But I have a way of doing this that made it fast. I just sorted through 3 boxes of foreign postcards in 2 nights. With the right tools, you can figure out where they are, and then when I go to listing them, it'll be so much easier. So if you want to see a video about that, I will do that for you. Just let me know. All right, here is another Hawaii one. It was listed at the same time as the other Hawaii one. This is another Kalukai resort. This resort is no longer there. This island, I believe, resorts did not go well. I don't know if it was this resort, but there was my friend who has gone to Hawaii many, many times, and she said that they decided to go to a different island that they hadn't been to before, and I believe this was West Molokai. I could be wrong here, and totally wrong, and it could have been another island, but she said that they were not wanting tourists on the island, and at one point after World War II, within the Japanese had done Pearl Harbor, and there was a lot of bad feelings between the two. Later on, a Japanese company came in and wanted to build a hotel on one of the islands. It may have been this one, and it was met with really negative reception, and it had to close down, and it never recovered. It may have been this island or another one. I'm not sure. But this is one of those resorts that's no longer there, and it went for $9.47. And our last one is Boardwalk Rolling Chairs, Atlantic City. There are so many of these out there, and I have so many of them, and I'm thinking, I'm tired of listing this. Nobody's going to ever buy them, and there you go. So, I mean, you have this really large boardwalk, and the rich old ladies, maybe won't or can't walk it. So what you do, you get a rolling, basically a baby buggy for the elderly. This was 1911 to Miss Bartlett in Brooklyn, New York, and some philatelic has taken the stamp, and that went for $3.47. And this, let me know what you liked and didn't like. And like I said, I have been doing this for 3/4 of a year selling postcards, but I have been selling antiques and collectibles probably since I was a teenager, I think. So there's not something that's new to me. It's just not the venue, but just ephemera is a little bit different than like glassware or decor stuff. So, but still, a lot of the things apply to different things. So if you are wanting to look at selling something and building up a business, find something that you really enjoy. There are so many things that you can do. It doesn't have to be postcards or ephemera. It's whatever catches your attention, because you're going to be spending a lot of time with this stuff. You're going to be looking for it. You're going to be listing it, taking pictures and describing it and researching it, storing it, and shipping it out, and dealing with lowballers and other stuff that if you don't like this stuff, it's just another job. Find something you enjoy, and if you don't like reselling, do something else. That's okay too. So anyways, I'm going to close for now, and I hope that you have a joyful day. Goodbye.